Good morning. Welcome to Wellspring. Nice to see you all here. Yeah. What a wonderful day. So my name is Edward Burlbaugh, and I'm part of your Sunday, February 16th service team. Let's start with a few announcements. As many of you are aware, we have something we call early birds for those that get up early. And we meet Sunday mornings at 9:30 via Zoom. And we also have a couple of spots here in the social hall and in the back here that folks can sit around if they want to get here in advance of service. So please join us. Right now we're reading a book called Who Dies, which is really how to live consciously as much as anything. There's one chapter, anyway, conscious dying, conscious living. It's all the same, right? So today our speaker is Reverend Sandhi, all the way from Torque, TRC. And next Sunday we'll have Reverend Kamatara from living in Albuquerque at the moment. We have a Thursday evening group that continues to meet 7 o'clock here in the social hall and on Zoom. We watch a few different videos from Gaia. So you're certainly welcome. And then after the video, they're usually 20 to 30 or so minutes long. And then we have a discussion. Lasts another 20 minutes or so. So it's just an opportunity during the middle of the week to kind of spend a little time with your spirituality, if you want to call it that. So anyway, you're all welcome to join and talk to me or Cleona. We can get you what the Zoom coordinates are so you can get on with us. Just an extra slide, which we don't have a slide for, is that our very own Jim Moore has part of an open studio this afternoon at 3810 North Valley Drive. It's from noon to 4. So drop by and see what he and the other local artists are doing. And not only is it today, but it's also next Sunday. So drop by and see some of his artwork and some of the other art from the local artists. Our labyrinth is slowly coming along. And again, thanks to you who brought some rocks. We appreciate that. The phase that we're in right now is to settle on a design, and there are 4 labyrinths here in Las Cruces that are very similar to our design. Probably the biggest difference is their size. So there's a yellow sheet of paper over in the table in the social hall that has those location of those 4 labyrinths on it, and you're free to take one of those. We got plenty of papers, and visit 2 or 3 of those and see what strikes your fancy. Is the size too small, too big, just whatever. And on top of that, you could even walk them while you were there. That also gives you a feeling for how you like it. And then after that, we will, the plan is to put the labyrinth out here, basically outside of the, kind of in this square area between the back end of the sanctuary and the prayer garden, so that you could access it from coming across on the sidewalk, going out the sidewalk to the labyrinth. Anyway, it came to our attention this morning that all of you remember Dove Flowers, I presume, that her sister passed this last week. And so there's an obituary. We can just leave it on the table over in the social hall for you to take a look at if you remember her. She occasionally pops onto our Zoom meetings here at Wellspring, and she's also Dove is very connected with a number of members here on a weekly basis and so forth. So in case you don't know from her, now you know from here. And speaking of that, because we do believe in the power of prayer, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. And as a matter of fact, we will be putting Dove's sister and her family on the prayer list this week, because things happen like that, and everyone needs the support. So we have a link on our webpage that you can click on and you can leave your prayer request. But we also have some sheets in the back of the social or sanctuary here that you can write your prayer request on and give it to me, because I attend that prayer group on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15. And if you think about it, especially if you have something on the prayer list, you might sit in your own spot on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 and just join in the power of prayer, because we know that it has no limits, no physical, no time limits at all. So with that, as we speak of prayer, we're also going to step into our invocation. And as I feel the presence settling into this very space, I also feel a number also settling into their space of oneness with Spirit. So we just feel Spirit here in this space in us. We just dedicate this morning to that deep sense of calm, peace, and oneness that Spirit is. And we embrace the music and the message and the communion and the community and the joy that is here today. And for this we are grateful. And so it is. So now we have our Song of Joy. It's a bright, sunshiny day. And I don't know who's leading it, but I understand there's an Edwin and a Doug Adamz that are going to be involved. And you are involved. So just holler it out, because I won't be hollering much. But I think most of us know this song.
The rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that once had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that once had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. One more time. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
All right. Very good. That kind of got the energy moving too, didn't it? Yeah. So now we'll read together our vision, mission, and affirmation. And if you have one of the handouts, it's also in the front of that. Otherwise, you'll have to read it from up here. So Wellspring's vision is to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission, to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. In our affirmation for the month, love flows through every aspect of my life, connecting me with the divine in every moment. Together, we create a world rooted in unity, understanding, and grace presence in all. I open my heart to give and receive kindness, compassion, and joy. So now we have Doug Adamz with our guest music.
The power of love, the higher power, here every moment of every day. Here every moment of every hour, I'm taking it with me all along my way. On a quiet day, everything is in motion, every leaf, every stone shimmers with light. We call it love that sends it all spinning, that spins my heart flying just as high as a kite. The breeze that I breathe, the sound of the mountain, the wisdom of hummingbird, wings by a flower. I felt so alone, cut off from this beauty, when a voice came upon me, it was singing of power. It was a power of love, the higher power, here every moment of every day. Here every moment of every hour, I'm taking it with me all along my way. For the power of love, I need never hunger, melting like snow, the most ironclad curse. Here all around me, just like a spring shower, for that higher power, I never need thirst. Deeper than sleep, deeper than oceans, brighter than mockingbird songs through the sage. The book of love has no beginning or ending, and we are like lyrics dancing over the page. And it's all about the power of love, the higher power, here every moment of every day, here every moment of every hour. I'm taking it with me all along my way, all along my way, all along my way.
Thank you, Doug. Isn't he wonderful to have here? And we get to hear him again later. So today's reading is from Letters of the Scattered Brotherhood. Yeah, well, this is a book that Sandy said, you should read this. So I've kind of been going through it. The portion I want to read is, well, it's all about your personal growth, in essence. And so the author is writing about, you entertain the Spirit because of the desire within you. I love this. Spasmodically, it is true, and with irregularity, but the desire is there. So I'll just reread it without the parenthetical. You entertain the Spirit because of the desire within you. That's the bottom line. And the Spirit you have entertained has burned away heavy impurities, ignorance, and heavy lethargies. And the burning away of dross through spiritual growth is the beginning of spiritual health. The spiritual reaction to let in light and more light, spirit and more spirit, with its understanding and power, is a gift that will make you free, for it will teach you to stand within your inner you and look out undismayed through the outer you. You are beginning to change the base of your operations. I will explain in simple allegory what has happened. For your help, for those who, like yourself, have sought the way, for the way's sake, go through a definite process. It is as if, before you had self-conscious understanding, you had been encased in clay, and the clay took on life and went about its business, carrying the sleeping you within. Clay, being clay, took on the spirit of clay life. Yeah. One day, the clay of your particular entity was pierced by a light of revelation which woke this sleeping you, and the clay self turned to it and found a comforting remembrance, peace, and reassurance. You became more alive, or better still, more awake. This is a clumsy picture of what has taken place, but it may help to show you how, after more light poured through because of your awakened desire, the clay began to dry and turned to dust and cracked and gave away, so that the outer encasement is growing thinner and thinner. This is an inward picture. It has nothing to do with the body, except as the body reflects health and release. Those who are doing what you are attempting are spared much of the bludgeoning the clay is heir to. Instead of going through fire to be tempered, you deliberately ignite and illumine yourself with this inward flame. You burn yourself free and step clear of the rough and tumble, the trial and error, and the hard way of consequences that wait in the dark for those who carry no lamps. In this, there is great responsibility and great joy. If the weaknesses are not met spiritually, they thicken the clay again, and faith becomes dulled, tarnished. Do you not begin to realize the importance of the working method of examining the moment as it comes and making it spiritual? You've sensed at last that when an outside problem of vexation or decision comes, instead of letting your inner you be consumed, it is happier to keep in your divine personality. Burn your own dross, temper your own steel, and be spared. Not through a selfish motive, nor through fear of punishment, but through love of truth and beauty. Goodness and mercy, order and beauty and inspiration are in this inner you. And this heavenly radiance is melting away the dross of old habits, mental stresses, weaknesses, inertias, and fears, not only those of your lifetime, but those inherited through the past from the race. It is a large order that you have asked for. Therefore, keep released from tensions, relax in quiet, and in the confidence which is your strength. Thus ends the reading. And now we have Reverend Sandhi. We'll listen to her message.
Good morning, everybody. It is a good and it is morning. So, you enjoyed the full moon last week? It was awesome, wasn't it? I call it communing. I go out and commune with Sister Moon. I just love it. I just stare and I make commitments and just really enjoy the glow. It's awesome. Casting shadows. I usually have to turn my porch light on because I get up around 4:30 and let the dogs out, but I didn't need to turn the light on. It was so bright, wasn't it? And Terry used to say she lived up on a hill in her beautiful home that her parents built, and she'd sit outside and read under the full moon. And I keep forgetting to do that, but isn't that a cool thing to do? And we feel for your knee. We know you had a knee injury, and thank you for the effort it took to get here. Thank you. Friends are everything. Without friends, forget about it. I really love my friends and the support I've received because January 16th, I was given a diagnosis of an incurable disease in my lungs. And for 2 weeks, I did that practice I did when I was going to move here. I didn't know where I was going to move, so I dedicated the month of August to silence and listening, and that's what I've been doing. And then I went to a lung specialist, and I would like prayers tomorrow morning around 9. I get the results of the CT scan, and I'm going to enjoy the outcome no matter what it is, period. So, thank you. Wasn't going to say it, but you're sick as your secret, so you might see a cloud pass by my face once in a while. This morning, I packed my car up because I'm staying overnight with Terry because of the 9 o'clock appointment tomorrow. And it must have been 5 big bags of stuff because I couldn't find my suitcase. So anyway, 5 big bags, and I'm driving up to Taylor Road, and I went, I forgot the important bag with my notes. You know that big book I usually have my notes in? I love it because I find out what the topic's going to be, and then I make notes throughout the month for the talk. Man plans, God laughs, right? I wonder if God snickers. The board where I used to work at the center told me to stop snorting. And I said, it comes with the equipment. It's not going to happen. It's like not going to. Anyway, so I found a grove of pine trees. And I parked underneath them, and I just said, so what? Because I went to a guru for a while in Florida, Majaya Bhagavati, and she had a Brooklyn accent, and she swore like a truck driver, but she was unbelievably powerful. And she said one time she was in India, and this man came into their camp and said, I want to tell you the secret to life. And she goes, I don't want it. I already know what life is. I don't want your idea. And he goes, I want to tell you the secret of life. She goes, so what? And he goes, so what? She goes, so what? He goes, that is the secret to life. So what? Not a sarcastic so what, but a so what? So what? I didn't bring my notes. Big deal. I can channel Marianne Williamson. She never uses notes. So anyway, I had all my books in the car, and I'm just going to read little blurbs because the way I got out of myself over that and wanting it to be different, because that's the downfall for me. Like the first noble truth is there is suffering. The second is it's caused by desire. And for me, when I want something to be different, I contract. And if I accept it, I can expand and include it and listen to the best shot with what I've got. So I knew I had to forgive myself. Whoops, it's this book. Around the Year with Emmett Fox. Love him. This is about resentment because I resented myself. Setting others free means setting yourself free because resentment is really a form of attachment. It is a cosmic truth that it takes two to make a prisoner and a jailer. The jailer is as much a prisoner as his charge. When you hold resentment against anyone, you are bound to that person by a mental chain. You are tied by a cosmic tie to the thing that you hate. I don't like that word. The one person, perhaps in the whole world, whom you would most dislike is the very one to whom you are attaching yourself by a hook that is stronger than steel. Isn't that amazing? So forgiveness is also the purpose of life according to the Course in Miracles. And I really like this saying that forgiveness is permission to move on. So I forgave myself and I giggle. I have humorous compassion for the state of being human. And I'm just a human with a fading memory. Anyway, okay, so this is from Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's page 417. It's a very famous book in the 12-step program. It used to be page 449. And I had it as a personal license plate on my red BMW. And people would come up to me once in a while and say, oh, I really needed to see that. Thank you. Anyway, this is a paragraph. It's written by Dr. Phil, who was a surgeon. And when he was drinking, he would do surgery in blackouts. He didn't kill anyone, but yeah. And he got sober in Orange County, and he was really well known. Richard Chamberlain's father was in AA, and he was a big figure in AA, and he wrote A New Pair of Glasses. He's very respected, and he and this man were friends. Okay, so acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I'm disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it's supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. So imagine the answer to all my problems. Acceptance doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean approval. It means I'm not going to resist it anymore. I'm just going to put it in front of me and say, this is the way it is right now. It's no other way than the way it is. Can I change it? Yes or no? And if I can, what is the action I need to take? And I can get myself out of anything. And I got such peace after remembering these two pieces of wisdom for me. Because it doesn't matter that I don't have notes. I know what I was going to say. Today is about light. It's called illumination. And I had all these neat definitions of the word illumination, revelation, flashlight, light. I had all these really cool definitions, but you can look them up. So, have you ever felt like you're the only one thinking the way you think? Let me read you something. I'm not going to read a lot. This is the last one. But they're just such goodies. See if you relate to this. When the soul is awakened, it is as if that person were to wake up in the middle of the night among hundreds of thousands of people who are fast asleep. He is sitting or standing among them, hearing about their sorrows and miseries and their conditions, hundreds of them moving about in their sleep, in their dreams, not awakened to the condition, although he is near them. The awakened soul, standing among all, will listen to everyone, will recognize all they think and feel, but his language no one understands. His thoughts he cannot explain to anyone. His feelings he cannot expect anyone to feel. He feels lonely, but no doubt in this loneliness there is also a sense of perfection, for perfection is always lonely. I think that's when you know that you have to meditate alone. You can't share it. You can't speak through it. Deep calling into deep. I love that saying. That I've been deepening my spirituality since T or C. Torque. I love that. T or C. Torque. I like it. Did you make that up? Just pronounce the letters. Okay. So it's about light. And I always say infinite energy expressing as light as life through me at the frequency of my thoughts. My thoughts set the tone, and I believe my thoughts are the law of attraction, because what you see is what you be, and what you think about increases. So I'm very vigilant, especially now in the political climate today. I don't pay any attention to politics, and you can criticize me if you want, but that's how I stay in joy and peace. So I've asked, since Terry's a gimp today, temporarily out of commission, I've asked Nancy to pass out the gift today, and it's so cool. It's the most expensive, most complicated gift I've given you. So, and it's a flashlight. It's your personal portable light. And if we just do a click, like if we're seeing what the person, if we're looking at the body, like in the hospital or a hospice, we click the light on and we see through to the truth. I was going to hand out empty of these, but they came and they take 3 batteries, and it would be just too hassly to pass out these and then the batteries. But without the battery, what is it? It's a shell, like us. We're just a shell. So when we have a battery, it has to be charged, doesn't it? So how do you charge a battery? I dress for joy. I spend time with my dogs and my friends. I take walks all over Torque. And as I said, I dress for joy. I try to bring joy to people so they won't look at all the wrinkles on my face. Look at my clothes. Look at my clothes. Anyway, so let's practice this. And let your light shine. And I had all these groovy quotes. I have a whole sheet of quotes about light. But yours isn't working? Well, just take another one, hon. There. Thanks, Nancy. So, shine the light on it. I forgot my wonderful notebook. I forgot the books I was going to bring. I forgot my appointment book, which is my life. I forgot all that stuff, and I can giggle about it, And I've been shining the light on my lungs and my throat, and shining the light on all my fear thoughts, to have compassion for our fear thoughts. It's okay to have a fear thought. It's not okay to give it power. It's not okay to stay. It's okay to be angry. We're going to be angry again, I think. I got angry Valentine's Day of all days because they called from the clinic, the visioning where I had my CT scan. They said, well, it hasn't been read, so you can't have the appointment on Monday. And I went, and said, you need to fix this. I've paid for the pet sitter. I'm staying with a friend so I can be there early in the morning. You need to fix this. And so then I channeled my mother. She was this very powerful woman, and she got her way by just standing in front of the people and insisting and insisting and insisting, and it's worked for me. Sometimes at Las Cruces, I was at a store, and they wouldn't take this battery back that was wrong, and he's the one that recommended it. And I said, I'm staying here till I get my right battery, or I'm calling the police and the press. I wouldn't do that today, but it was fun. So shine the light on it. Shine the light on it. I love these things. I've always loved the saying from Jesus that said, the shame is that people got into the light and then they preferred darkness, for they didn't want their evil deeds to be exposed. And to me, that explains attrition. Like if you have a group or you call people together and it starts trickling away, it's because you're getting too close to the pain that has to be changed, and change is scary. Because they said you have to release your past. I thought, I am my past. I am my story. If I let that go, I'll just fizzle out like a balloon. Gone. So I had to find that what I really was. Like, I love the clay life. I'm going to use that. I don't remember that reading. Thank you so much, because I was going to read from the Letters of the Scattered Brotherhood, but it's safe in my bedroom. Having a rest from me. Okay, so I've asked Doug to come up, and we're going to light our lights, and we're going to wave them around. And just everything is self-informed. Everything is the formless informed. Everything. So want to stand up and wave your light? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, oh yeah.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All around the world?
All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine, oh yeah, yeah. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And the first verse one more time.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time?
Sure, one more time.
Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh baby,
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
All right. Thank you, Doug. So, turn the lights back off, please. Whoever turned the lights on, can you turn them off again for a minute? So see how dark it is? So we can't see each other. We can't hear, we can't really touch each other. It's just dark. And then put your light on. And it lights the room, right? Okay, lights off. That's enough. It's fun though, huh? I chose blue because in Tibetan Buddhism, the heart is here. Here, and it's home, 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 and it's blue. So I chose blue. Love is blue. Are you bluish? Your eyes are blue? Beautiful. Me too. So what is it that keeps us from shining our light? It's the clay life. I was clay. I was solid. I was solidified. I was practically paralyzed in reaction to life. And I always say I try to move from knee-jerk reaction to mindful response, to push the pause button before my mouth gets me in trouble. Which, I mean, the trouble I've been in because of my mouth has been stupendous. Even jail. So, but I went to jail in Marin County Jail that was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. And Angela Davis had just been released, and they gave me a tour of her suite because she had 2 cells. And, she's a professor now. A lot of them are. The leaders of the Black Panthers didn't get the microphone. The radical ones did. Isn't that true of the press? They listen to the radical people instead of the mindful people because mindful's just too calm. It's not hysterical. It's not emotional. It's not rah. It doesn't take sides. It's just mindful, like in the middle. From PPFF, pain of the past, fear of the future. Reruns, rehearsals, ad nauseum. Unless we just drop it and say, okay, what's true is I'm here now. Spiritually, I am whole, complete, and perfect. And I ask the grace of God to lead me in living in mindfulness. No extremes, just mindfulness, trusting, having faith, having love for everything, all creation, because it comes from self. Self is the source. There's an Upanishad that a son goes out and gets enlightened and comes home. He's very arrogant with his father, and the father said, well, did they teach you the one thing that when you know it, you know everything? And he said, no. And so it's one of the longest Upanishads. And the answer is, self is the source of all creation. So that's why we want to click it, see the light, claim the light, fan the flame, and make sure people know that you see through to the light. That when people have a problem, I say, I trust the power within you. I trust the wisdom within you to lead you through this. And I'm here just to fan your flame. And what you do with that flame is your business. But I just want people to ignite the light within them. That make sense? Okay, let's close our eyes and do your own prayer. Do your own statement of how you will live in the light. How you will click it. When you find yourself in darkness, click it. How will you do this? You got it? Thank you. We all get it. Enough with the snorting today, huh? I'm just happy. It just happens. So thank you for listening to me. I love Wellspring more than I could ever say. Each one of you has blessed my life. I'm a different person since I started coming over a year ago. And to be able to share my pearls with you is just the greatest honor. So I have a lump in my throat because I love you all so much. Thank you. Click it. Bill?
Let's do the Fountain of Peace. Is this right? What do I do? There's a little fountain of peace in my heart, in my heart. There's a little fountain of peace in my heart. Water so sweet to taste may lend my life a little more grace, and make the world a little happier place in my heart. There's a little fountain of peace in your heart, in your heart. There's a little fountain of peace in your heart. That little fountain of peace, that little fountain of peace. Its waters will never cease, will never cease. If you take it, it will increase in your heart. Maybe someday, the little fountain will overflow and spill its shimmering waters on this old dusty world we know. A fountain in my heart, a stream in my neighborhood, a river running through this land, an ocean all around the world. Oh, this little fountain of peace in my heart, in my heart. There's a little fountain of peace in my heart. Water so sweet to taste may lend my life a little more grace, make the world a little happier place in my heart. Let's do the maybe someday. Maybe someday the little fountain will overflow and spill its shimmering waters on this old dusty world we know. A fountain in my heart, a stream in my neighborhood, a river running through this land, an ocean all around the world. Oh, there's a little fountain of peace in my heart, in my heart. There's a little fountain of peace in my heart. Water so sweet to taste may lend my life a little more grace, make the world a little happier place in my heart. Thank you. Thank you so much for singing my song with me. Makes it our song.
So I was noticing when Doug was singing, especially when he sang the word flow. You notice how flow is almost an automatic smile? Yeah. Yeah. We had a message last month about being in the flow, if I recall. So it's now time for our offering. And someone will bring the basket forward. John's going to do that for us, yeah.
So blessed, and I'm so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, and I'm so grateful. I am so blessed.
Listen, we are so blessed by these offerings. As you know, it keeps us building with lights. But we're blessed because we tithe out 10% of what we receive to the community, because we know that giving and receiving are part of the one flow. And yes, we are so blessed. Thank you, John. And speaking of being blessed, we are blessed by the service of a number of folks who are here today and have contributed to the production. Brenda, back on the tech group there, just hardly ever hear her talk, but she does a wonderful service for us. And today, Jim on the camera. Yes. We have some musicians that have done a wonderful job. Yeah. And we have a speaker. Yes. We love that. And I understand there's some goodies in the social hall, thanks to those in the hospitality group that have put that together, Sharon and Jim. So thank you for joining us today in Zoom land and here in the sanctuary. And stay around in the meeting, in the Zoom meeting after service if you want to visit with folks a little bit. Otherwise, come join us in the social hall for the goodies we just spoke of. So now please stand as you are able and say with us our benediction. And that's followed by the peace song, for which we typically kind of circle around or semicircle around in the aisle. Benediction. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world. And so it is.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God as our center, united all are we. Now